We're giving 3 homeowners the opportunity to snoop around each other's houses before giving them 1 week and £1,000 to make changes to their own properties in the hopes they can bag themselves a buyer. Today, plain speaking.
And not being rude, does anyone actually live here?
Yeah.
Tricky homeowners.
Would I want to make that much effort in changing the room?
If you don't, you're not going to sell it.
And a buyer who is tough to please. Somewhere that you could put your own stamp. Or your nan. Is this getting better?
Yeah, definitely.
Today I'm in Milton Keynes with 3 rival homeowners all trying to sell their properties. It's a buyer's market here, with house prices dropping nearly 2% over the last year, so the competition for my buyer Simon will be fierce. Simon is married with 3 children, and as a builder, he should know a thing or two about houses. So Simon, why are you moving?
I've lived in the house now for nearly 20 years, sort of outgrown it a little bit.
What is your ideal property?
4 to 5 bedrooms.
OK.
Perfect house would have a double garage, decent-sized garden.
Yep. What about a project? Because you work in the building industry, don't you? So if you saw something that needed completely refiguring and knocking about, is that something that you would like to do, or is it something that you'd run a mile from?
It's not something I'd like to do, but it's probably the best option. Buy cheap, do up. That would be a perfect scenario.
Is this the forever house? Because I know you've got young-ish children, haven't you? They're sort of 9 and 12. So is this the house that you plan on staying in until they've flown the nest, or is this the kind of, I'm going to be carried out in a box?
Yeah, kind of carried out in a box, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, this would be it.
Yeah, OK. Do you get that gut instinct when you walk into a house?
Absolutely. I'll know if it's right.
OK.
Definitely. And I'll also know if it's not right.
Right, this is going to be a very quick tour. I'm really coming on. No, yes, no, yes. Right, well, all we can do is have a look at them. For his wish list, Simon has a budget of up to £375,000. I found 3 properties that I'm hoping Simon will love, but there is room for improvement with all of them. First up are image consultant Catherine and her husband, bank business manager Gareth, who are now looking to move out of the city.
We already had George when we moved into the property, and then we've since had Thomas, and we spent a lot of time you spend a lot of time in the kitchen and then in the playroom where the kids are playing. So it's a real family home.
As Catherine's an image consultant, she likes to use her design know-how at home as well.
In terms of style, I mean, it's a modern property, but I really like the whole country cottage, shabby chic kind of look. It's definitely my style.
Well, usually if I have an opinion, it gets overridden by yours.
Yeah, true.
So I just learned not to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Catherine and Gareth's stylish but neutral modern property has the 4 bedrooms my buyer Simon is after. It also has a large garage. The asking price is £350,000. Competing against Catherine and Gareth is bricklayer Gerald. After 16 years, he wants to relocate his wife and 2 kids in order to downsize and demortgage. His sister Pat has stepped in to help him, and he's used to that.
She's a bit bossy. Well, she tries to be bossy, but like all big sisters, but...
Yeah, I do put my nose in a bit too much.
Well, it sounds like Gerald needs it, Pat, as although he's a builder, he doesn't bring his work home with him.
It needs tidying up. They've gone through the stage of drawing on the walls and everything, so it's been put off again, and now I've decided to sell, and that's where we are today.
Gerald's large but unloved house certainly has the space my buyer Simon is after, with 5 bedrooms and a large rear garden. It's in need of work, so maybe the project Simon's looking for. It's on the market for £310,000. My last competing seller is Jill and her daughter Lorraine. Jill's lived in her chalet bungalow for the last 34 years and is reluctant to let it go.
Well, my husband's retired now, and we really need a little bit of extra money, and the property's too big for us.
And as is often the case, family life has taken over and the decor has not been updated in a long time. A long, long time.
Would be very dated for younger couples, but I think it could be a bit more minimalist.
I think that it's not as modern as some people would like it to appeal to them.
Tactfully put, but I think you mean this place is dated. So Jill's rather dated chalet bungalow has 4 bedrooms split across 2 levels and 2 reception rooms. It's on the market at £285,000. So it's Catherine and Gareth in their modern but neutral home, Gerald and his large but unloved detached house, and Jill and Lorraine in their dated chalet bungalow. Before I take Simon to see the properties, the sellers get the chance to assess each other's houses. An insight into the competition could make the difference between staying on the market and that all-important sale. First snoop is at Catherine and Gareth's. Catherine and Gareth's modern contemporary home has been lovingly styled and decorated by Catherine, and she shows a real flair for interior design. However, her fondness for safe, neutral colours means that some of the areas are lacking somewhat in personality. I think some use of subtle colour will really add to an already impressive home. But it's not just me with an opinion.
It's a nice looking house.
Not much of a garden to do with.
No, it's all
So that's
just
not
bushes
too bad.
again.
No, I'm not very into modern architecture, to be honest.
I like the oldie worldy.
Yes, and I
Cosy
don't like the
type.
cladding either. Mind you, I've got cladding on my house, having said that.
Come on, Jill, people in clad houses. And inside?
The first thing that hit me is the lack of colour in here, the blandness of it all, and how much it's like my place. And I definitely need some more colour in my place.
I think you do, definitely.
Is it the same colour scheme as my place?
In your dreams.
That's you told Gerald.
It's a lovely space, but I think it still needs a little bit of injection of colour.
And across the hallway.
This is how your kids' room should look.
Yeah, it's nice.
Right.
I think most people would want it as a dining room, though.
Yeah.
Make a nice sized dining room.
When I walked in, I thought it was going to be a dining room.
Yeah. I thought what a lovely size. It would make an ideal dining room.
Dining room, yes,
Next to the kitchen,
kitchen, yeah.
And speaking of which,
It's nice
It's
space.
a lovely space. But again, it's a bit bland. It's just cream, black and brown.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you now, seeing this house, seeing the rooms we've seen so far, and it's all being the same colour. It is like yours.
The main difference is everything's finished in this place.
Yeah, this is finished, and it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah.
but it could look better, and we're not finished either. Let's go upstairs.
This is a child's room. I mean, this is what you can do for Lily's room.
I still find it hard to get out of my mind if I'm selling it. Would I want to make that much effort in changing the room into this
Yeah, but
to sell it?
But if you
Especially if
don't,
somebody
you're not
buys it,
going
doesn't
to
it?
sell it.
Spot on, Pat.
That is very impressive.
I'd love a bathroom this size.
Yeah.
It's bright.
Yeah, bright, like a touch of colour.
And it's got the colour.
It's got the colour. It's only a little bit, but it looks really nice.
At £350,000, this is the most expensive of the three houses.
I wouldn't pay quite as much as that.
I'm very surprised it's 350.
What you got your house on the market for, you should achieve your market value, what you wanted for it, if you vamp it up.
I think Pat and I are going to get on well. I'm pleased to see Jill and Lorraine have spotted the benefits of modern decor, and the finish here has shown Gerald what's missing at his place. And it's there we're heading to next. Gerald's family home has fantastic potential. It's got big rooms and an annex, which would create a vast canvas for a creative buyer. But the trouble is, creative buyers with vision are very few and far between. And Gerald really needs to put some love back into that house if he stands any chance of selling it. First impressions?
Nice cul-de-sac, isn't it?
Yeah, very safe. But the outside looks like it do a bit of work.
It's a bit tired, don't you think?
Yeah.
Tired outside and inside?
It's quite almost minimalist in some respects, and I suppose it's homely and it's, you can see the kids are obviously around, but you could do so much more within the space.
It's very big, but very sort of sparse. It makes you feel, does anyone actually live here?
Yeah.
And not being rude, but that's the feeling
It doesn't
I feel.
feel like a family
from
home, does
no,
it?
it doesn't, no.
You're not being rude, Jill. Direct, maybe. The main bedroom's next.
It's just a bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got no love and care or style.
From a space point of view, definitely more could be made from this. But if you've got to have the child's bed in here as well, then that's going to be a bit more tricky for them.
For me, it just strikes out of, I need some filler, I need some paint. I just need to crack on.
And let's crack on to the kids' bedroom.
I'm a bit surprised it's a child's room. You could make it look more...
For children.
For
You could have
children, really,
wallpaper
yeah.
on, or even bright colours painted on the wall.
It just feels a bit bare.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's a few toys in here, but nothing for the, almost the kids to be doing. So that doesn't necessarily say that they spend a lot of time in here.
Gerald's take on minimal is not impressing his rivals. This house sits in the middle of the three, priced at £310,000.
I think it's a really big house for that price.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be more than that, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it doesn't seem like a £310,000 property.
There's too much work to be done, isn't there, really?
Finally, it's time to take a peek at Jill's chalet bungalow. Jill and her husband have lived here for 34 years. 3 children and a loft conversion later, it is time for them to downsize. But what could be an impressive purchase for a buyer is let down by some very dated decor. So they really need to tackle that if they want to move on.
Still got his country cottage feel about it, isn't it?
Yeah, not quite, but yeah, you say so.
That's really quirky. Nice with the sun shining on it.
Sunny outside, I'm forecasting some clouds inside.
Decorations needs a bit of updating, doesn't it?
Yeah, the carpets are a bit of an interesting colour.
Bit pink for my liking.
Well, it would be for you, wouldn't it?
Any colour's a shock for you, Gerald.
I like the decor in here.
It's nice having the feature wall.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Really like that.
I think basically you need to go back and get your house actually finished. You know, it does need a spruce up yours, definitely for improvements.
Well, that can be discussed later. Let's move on to the bathroom.
Again, look quite dated.
Yeah, pine is quite old-fashioned. I'd want to paint it again.
Bit too much wood.
You can always paint it white, you don't have to have it dark.
Yeah.
It's like a nice little sauna.
No, it's quite
no,
different to
yeah.
our bathroom. I mean, our bathroom just needs a bit of paint, I think. I mean, this has a bit of character in a way. Ours doesn't, because it's just big open space.
This house may be dated, but its price tag is the lowest of the 3, on the market for 285 grand.
To be perfectly honest with you, I think that's a good price for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely worth it. I'm surprised I haven't sold it, really.
Yeah, that's about, I would say it's about right.
Yeah, about right.
285. Our house is that, I mean, our house does feel much bigger, and it's got a garage and you've got parking. So,
Yeah, comparable.
yeah.
So both parties think this house is well priced. Catherine and Gareth made notes about how a bit of character can help, while Gerald again saw the importance of a good finish. Or rather, Pat did. I'm in Milton Keynes with 3 homeowners who are all vying to win an offer from my buyer, Simon.
The house that we're looking to buy is only the second house purchase I've made, so it would be the one that I intend to retire in, do everything that needs to be done, that's it.
Before Simon comes round, my 3 sellers have been given the chance to snoop round each other's homes to check out what they're up against and hopefully realise what needs changing back home.
After seeing both properties, I think our property is, from a competition perspective, is much nicer.
With what you've seen, you can now see what can be achieved.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And exactly.
I was a bit worried it was too highly priced, but having seen the other 2 properties, I think it sits quite well in the middle.
Our buyers will each be given £1,000 and 1 week to carry out any improvements, but they need to spend it wisely to right the wrongs of any DIY and decorating disasters and stay ahead of the competition. But before they spend a single penny of that cash, I want to see what they've learned from snooping around, starting with Gerald. You saw the competition, you saw the other 2 properties. Where do you think you stand in comparison?
Well, at the bottom. Definitely see with the colour schemes what an improvement that made on each room.
He's got it, but I hope he's realised it's not just a problem of colour. One of the comments from one of the other sellers when they came into here and they had a look around the house was that if there wasn't a lot of love and care gone into the decorating of it, which I kind of see.
Yeah, which is true, I suppose.
Yeah. What we need to tackle first is how to make this room feel more homely.
OK.
Number 1, you're going to have to get your paintbrush out. Keep the neutral colour, because neutral works. Got some rather fetching artwork on the walls.
Yes.
The door frame, the skirting boards, none of it works. None of it matches, none of it flows.
It was originally a blue room, you see.
Right.
And I started painting it white.
Right. The ceiling was blue at some point, wasn't it?
It was.
Still quite blue in that patch over there and that patch over there.
I'm glad you pointed it out. He doesn't listen to me.
And then I started to get a neck ache and
Gave up.
stopped.
Yeah, I think you need to pick your paintbrush up again. He doesn't look like he's going to enjoy that. What do you think the other sellers, when they looked around the house, said about this room?
A bit cluttered.
Very cluttered.
Exactly what they said.
And unfinished.
They said they thought the room was a great size. But you can't really see that it's a great size because there's a lot of beds in here, isn't there? So can we address this first? Your cot, it needs to come out of here for now.
Right, OK.
You're not showing this room off to its best advantage. Nothing marries together. And actually, you've got quite a good starting block here with this bed linen. This sort of, is it mint green, pistachio green? This kind of colour on the walls would marry very well with the linen. Just feels a little bit, just a little bit unloved, this room, and it could have such an injection of love putting in. You know, I'm assuming there would have been something above this, so fill in the holes,
Yeah.
paint it back.
Right, OK. Oh, it does make sense to me. I mean, like a big picture would hide all them little holes.
Oh, see what I mean? There you go again.
Yeah, but a bit of filler and a bit of sanding would take how long? How long would it take to fill that
It might
sand?
take 5 minutes.
Exactly, Mum.
Come on, Gerald. For a bricklayer, a few holes should be child's play. On that subject,
You would not think that this is a room of a 10-year-old girl.
No.
Pat, what do you think about it?
It's just a mess. It's just a mishmash.
I think that this, for me, is the room that probably feels the most unloved.
You think?
Yes.
I thought it was nice.
What you've got going on here is lots of contrasting patterns and textures. Strip it back, line it, repaint it. If you want to sell this house and you genuinely want to move on and have a fresh start, you have to start seeing this in a completely different way. Oh, this house is so frustrating because it's got so much potential, but at the moment it just feels very unloved and a bit neglected. And Gerald's attitude of, well, why do I need to do anything to it because I'm moving, it really needs to be addressed if he stands any chance of getting this place sold.
I'm looking forward to tackling the living room more than any of the others, because that is totally unfinished. You can clearly see it's unfinished.
Yeah.
I think if we really start moving on it, starting straight away, we can get it done within a week.
you can do it, Gerald. Fired up, he cracks straight on with daughter Lily in her bedroom.
I don't think I ever have started something and finished it.
But there's no stopping him now.
I was determined to get all this done tonight. And I'm already starting to get a bit fed up with it.
Oh, Gerald.
I do not recommend doing this because it may look fun, but after a while you'll get fed up and really, really, really bored.
Lost interest, Lily? I wonder where she gets that from. Next time with Catherine and Gareth, who I fear may be feeling a little complacent after seeing their rivals' houses. But I've got some home truths for them.
The comments that we've had back from some of the other sellers that have come to view the house was that they felt that the use of neutral colours throughout the house, that it was too neutral, that there was no injection of colour anywhere. And this room is lovely. Just add a bit more pizzazz when you walk in here. Something like, for me, like a duck egg blue.
We kind of thought the same, actually. When we redecorated the house last year, both kind of said we wanted to add a bit more colour, but because we were going to sell it, we wanted to keep it quite neutral.
Yeah, it's the fine line, isn't it, between keeping it neutral so you don't put people off with garish colours, but making it so bland that it completely lacks personality. What do you think, young man?
What do you think, Thomas?
Yes, I can tell you're very impressed with that.
Thomas is smiling, but we've put him to bed as I'm not sure he'll like what I've got to say next.
So I think what's happening here is that you have lots of fantastic space for the children, but the cost is the fact that you don't have much grown-up space.
I see that, yeah, definitely.
When the other sellers had a look around your house, they came into here and they went, oh, I was expecting a dining room. Try and cast your minds back kind of 4 or 5 years ago when you didn't have children.
Yeah.
If you were viewing this house then
Yeah.
and you walked into a children's playroom,
Yeah.
would you be able to see it as anything other than
else.
children's playroom?
I suppose that's one thing, because people struggle to visualise, don't they, when you see the
So many people do.
Yeah,
And we
okay.
did have this as a dining room when it was just us, didn't we?
My advice would be to turn it back, and then I have no doubt at all, Catherine, that you will make the place look absolutely beautiful.
And from the soon-to-be dining room to the kitchen.
My suggestion would be that you would get rid of the dining table that you have in here, if you're having a dining table through there, and create a little play area for the kids. But what this needs, I feel, is an injection of colour on the walls. What colour would you think of doing here?
Well, I think if we're going to inject some kind of duck egg colours into the lounge, it may be quite nice to bring that colour into here and continue it through.
A colour like that would work.
Okay.
Up for the challenge?
Yeah.
Who's doing the painting? Notice I'm looking at you. Perfect. This house is absolutely beautiful, and I, for one, can't really understand why it's not sold yet. What we do have on our side, however, is Catherine has a fantastic flair for interior design. I would just like to see her be a bit braver with colour.
I thought the advice was really good. It's good to see someone else's perspective on things.
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Before I go, I've got a 3D mood board for Catherine and Gareth to help them visualise some colour in their home.
Do you even know what a 3D mood board is, Gareth?
Not until you've done one here.
I think when you think about redesigning a room and you think about the colours that you would need to revamp it, a good idea is to choose a colour palette that you either have in your house already or one that you really like, and just collect lots of different bits. This cushion, you can see how it works really well against the brown leather.
Yeah.
And if you could find some kind of throw that could go over the back of the sofa or on the side of the sofa. But even things like this, you know, like the little owl candle holder, all of these colours marry together really well. So it's just injecting a wee bit more colour in here. Literally just have fun with it.
With mood board in mind, Catherine's keen to get started. First job, clearing the playroom.
So I'm really excited about changing this into an adult space, but I'm a little bit apprehensive in terms of having enough space for us to play with the kids at weekends. Only thing that makes me nervous is I've only got 6 days.
Loads of time, especially as Catherine and Gareth have decided who's doing what.
It looks like Catherine's doing all the research and I'm doing all the doing. I suppose the more manual bits, which I could sort of expect.
Well, quite right, Gareth. Catherine has a designer's brain, and you're good with your hands, I'm sure. Oh. Finally, I want to see how Jill is feeling after seeing her rivals' homes.
So, Jill, your house has been on the market for a month, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, yes.
Why do you think it hasn't sold?
It's not the type of house that would really appeal from the front to youngsters with a young family, I don't
Right.
think. Because you see double-fronted bungalows, you think granny.
old granny.
Yeah, you think old granny. We all love it, so
Yeah, 'cause
there
you-
must be someone else out there that love it.
The first room that I want to talk about is this room, the room that you come into.
Yes.
The hallway. And this is where you've got to grab them. For me, what I think would be lovely would to see this carpet come up. So something like a sort of limed oak floor. And then I'd keep the colours at the top here fairly neutral because I think that's fine. But maybe just a fresh coat on it.
Yes.
And then look at something like a green. Hallways need to feel warm and welcoming, and I think green's quite a good colour for a hallway.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. I agree. It's just that I'm not one to go out and say to my husband, "Oh, I think I'll get that. I think I'll get that," because he doesn't like change at all.
We'll wait until he's gone to work, and then we'll whiz round really quickly.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure he won't mind.
He might mind where we're going next. We're entering his territory.
Now, I know that this bathroom has been lovingly created by your other half.
Yes, it has. It has.
How attached is he to it?
Oh, well, I did sort of prepare him for it because I could see it coming.
The comments that we had back from some of the other sellers was that there was too much wood in here and then it felt like being in a sauna.
Yeah, it's rather dated now, so I quite agree with you.
What you have here is a bathroom that's, because you've got that slanting roof, it feels a little bit claustrophobic.
Yes.
And by having this honey pine clad ceiling, it makes it feel even smaller than it actually is.
Yes.
I think it needs to be completely lightened up. Everything that's wooden in here needs to be painted. The other thing that this bathroom doesn't have is storage. I would probably suggest getting a cabinet up here, but just one of those big bathroom cabinets like that are just mirror fronted, and then everything out of the way. I think your biggest task isn't the painting, it's talking to your husband, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Jill has made the most of the space in her bungalow and has put a lot of time and effort into creating a family home, but that bathroom really lets it down. It feels like an alpine ski lodge and not a modern contemporary space, but I think the biggest challenge she'll have on her hands is to convince her husband to make the changes.
Upstairs, I think Lorraine had an inkling, didn't you, Lorraine?
I think it will make it look a lot brighter, and I think they're right.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a shock to me, I must admit.
Shocking maybe, but definitely necessary. One of the biggest changes I've suggested at Jill's is laminate flooring in the hall. If she's going to get that past changerphobe hubby Ray, she'll need a bit of advice.
I've picked out a few different laminate floors for you to have a look at. This, for me, is too modern and I don't think would go with the rest of the house.
Yeah, OK.
This is too dark.
Yeah, I'd go with that,
I agree with that.
Which kind of leaves, let's do it as a process of elimination, really, which leaves those three. That, again, I don't think is the right colour wood.
It's very flat as well.
That blends very well with this wood. There's nothing worse than painting the entire room and thinking, oh, actually, I don't like the colour.
hate it, yeah.
By putting a hardwood floor down here and repainting the whole room, it will just give it that oomph. So as soon as people walk in, they're interested. You've got their attention and they want to see a bit more.
And if all that was a bit confusing, at least they've got some nice, simple paint shopping to do.
This is for the, this paint is for the hallway. Only I could find it. Oh, there it is. I quite like this one.
Yeah, I like
really.
that one.
So we're going for that.
Finding the paint in the brochure is one thing, locating it on the shelf, on the other hand.
Green's here, but I don't seem to have that one. Ah, perhaps we're in the wrong bit altogether. It's a classic. We just can't find the paint at the moment, so we're just having another recce. Oh, look. We must have walked straight past it. Paints can be very different at home and on the wall.
So we'll try it and see which one we
I think
like.
that's the best way to go, really.
That's it, ladies. A couple of pots of each should do it. After snooping round their rivals' homes for inspiration, my 3 sellers are all at work improving their homes in the hopes of winning an offer from buyer Simon.
The style house I would be looking for most would be an older style property. However, I'm open-minded. New house in the right area could be okay.
At Gerald's, he and Sister Pat are working to bring some love back into his neglected sitting room.
Remove this chair out of the way, pull the cupboard out.
Right, go empty it out first.
No, we'll just take the things off the top and I'll just pull it out. It'll be okay. Pull it gently.
What could possibly go wrong?
Typical, typical. What's the matter with that bit of skirting board down there? As you can see, we just pulled the cupboard out. Another one of my brother's famous jobs, not finished. What happened there?
It didn't need to get painted, the cupboard was there.
What can I say?
I feel for you, Pat. You've got a job on your hands.
Pat's got her ideas, I've got my ideas, but we're just going to go along with what Amanda said.
Yeah.
Good idea, chaps. Glad to see you can agree on something.
Oh, well, so you've done a good job of clearing this one out.
Well,
Are you going to start?
Ah, well, it didn't last. To add a splash of colour to her neutral home, Catherine has gone shopping for some soft furnishings.
This kind of dusky pink and the duck egg colour that Amanda was referring to, those 2 colours together work beautifully.
Next, it's paint for the kitchen. The choice comes down to duck egg and pale duck egg.
I'd quite like to do both, actually, but I think my dad would kill me. He's going to be painting the room. Yeah, let's go with the pale duck egg.
Agonising. As Catherine turns her attention to cushions, her dad, Gary, is helping Gareth to clear the playroom. Nice swivel hips, Gareth. Catherine makes it home with her shopping, but makes an unhappy discovery.
I'm not convinced it works in here. There's too much colour going on. So I think I'm going to need to go back to the shop and change the throw and the duck egg cushion. That's going to be a bit tricky, but it's got to be done.
At Jill's chalet bungalow, she's tackling the dated decor. First, that all-important colour choice.
I'm a bit dubious about painting the wall because I used to have it green for quite some years and didn't like it and painted it over in this colour. So it's sort of going back a few years.
It's tester pot number 1
I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to try the other one.
versus tester pot number 2.
I prefer that one.
Yeah,
and
I
you
like
do.
that one,
You
yeah.
like it better.
To it is then. With the help of other daughter Gemma, Jill's next job is to decorate the hallway before the new flooring goes down.
I think the colour's very smart. I think it's a smart colour. I think it's really nice.
I think it's going to look really nice.
Yeah.
As work continues tidying up Gerald's house, his sister Pat is still unhappy at having to work around his clutter.
I would have cleaned it all out first, cleared it out, or tidied it up so we can work in a good space.
It's all well and good and an ideal world.
He does big time cut corners. I'm just glad his driving's not as bad as his paint work.
As the last lick of paint goes up in the master bedroom, the sheer amount of TLC needed to bring this house back to life is beginning to take its toll.
It's been a bit hectic with the painting. Up all night to get cracked on with it because with working and everything else. The best part for me was going out buying the home furnishings.
I'll wait and see what it's like when it's all finished.
It will all
And I'll
match.
make them in mind.
It will all be colour coordinated and matching fine.
But despite her reassurances, Gerald's clearly not convinced.
She wasn't mad keen on the bedspread, so what she's got, which is a throw to hide my bedspread. Amanda loved my bedspread. That was the best part of the bedroom. Now it's going to be hidden by this teddy bear.
At Catherine and Gareth's, the next step in banishing the bland, neutral look is painting the kitchen with the help of Catherine's dad, Gary.
How long do you think it's going to take?
I should think to do the whole room right round, probably about 2 hours.
And with that, he starts a speedy spruce-up of the kitchen walls. Next door, the playroom's well and truly gone, thankfully, and Gareth adds a £170 mirror to the new dining room.
Gareth's DIY skills are an improving skill, aren't they, darling?
Yes, dear.
At least he's having a go, and that's half the fun. After some slight adjustments,
Oh, there you go.
a little higher.
The mirror's up.
Awesome. That's lovely.
There's no fun in flat pack. I'll leave you to it. At Jill's, the campaign to bring her chalet bungalow up to date seems to be progressing well, after a late night finishing off the top half of the hallway walls.
It's covered really well in one coat, so we don't need to do it again, which is a relief because it was like 9 o'clock.
Jill is ready for her dated carpet to be removed. And the new wooden flooring to go down. All in all, it's costing her around £400, and she's got a fitter in who knows his stuff.
You should never have the joints exact to each other, because it'll just come up.
And there's more modernising in that bathroom. When painting over dark stained wood, always sand and fill the wood so it's free of imperfections. And when priming the wood, always use a primer that is compatible with both the original wood stain and the new paint.
See, when you've got a decorator in, they do it so much quicker, don't they? I think it'll look very nice. But I'll let you get on then.
With bright decor having replaced the bland at Catherine's, she's adding some final touches.
I thought I'd inject some colours through some plates.
And in the lounge, she's found replacements for the cushions she rejected.
I took those back and changed those for these more sort of mauve-coloured cushions, just to blend in more with the rug and the flowers and the rose pink colours.
Their one colourful room belonged to the kids, and it was hiding a potentially more popular purpose. It's now fully laid out as a dining room. Total cost, just under £800.
This is exactly what I say to people. You know, if you're going to dress a room and make people see what it's supposed to be.
I think this is my favourite room because it's the one that's changed the most.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, I really love it.
I think the kitchen as well, I had a little look in there. Who did the painting? Was that you?
Yeah.
Well done, you.
Catherine's dad.
Perfect.
Like their lounge, the kitchen was a clinical, unfriendly area. Now, with some subtle changes, they've managed to add light, character and warmth.
Beautiful colour, and it all still blends and it all still complements each other. It looks great, really does.
Their lounge was a smart but sterile place, lacking in colour and personality. Now, with just a few splashes of colour here and there, it's a more homely room.
Well, look at this, some colour. Not the colour that I thought, though. I thought you were going to go down the tealy duck egg blue route.
We kind of started with that, and then it didn't look right.
Looks lovely. I like the purples and things, and it has just given it a little bit of oomph. It's just lifted it a bit just by injecting a bit of colour in it. I think it's made a massive difference.
Yeah, I really love it.
Did you have much to do with this, or did you just go to work and say, "Oh, there's a cushion. There's a cushion appeared"?
I think we had one night, didn't we, where we were putting cushions and on the mood board type effect, trying to look at different colours. But apart from that, I've not had anything to do with the soft furnishings whatsoever.
Over at Gerald's, he's learning for the first time the satisfaction of a job pretty much complete.
You can't really appreciate it till you finish and it all comes together with the different colours. And before, my jobs would be, if I'm going to decorate, I'd paint the walls and nothing more. And then, of course, it wouldn't work. By the time I, say, paint the skirting board, the walls probably need repainting, but I wouldn't repaint the walls.
Pat and Lily are putting their finishing touches to Lily's brand new bedroom.
Bedding, yes, is really the last thing to do in here, I think. A lot of the stuff's all packed away. And she's going to keep it tidy till she moves, aren't you? It's going to be proper little girly room now, isn't it?
Their hard work has definitely paid off. Gerald's lounge was a mishmash of children's graffiti and unfinished jobs. Now, with around £260 spent, it's an inviting space.
What a difference a week makes. The colour is great. It's a nice, soft, warm, neutral colour, which is perfect. And Gerald, how did it feel to sort of finish the job? Because it was sort of half done, wasn't it? Now it's all done.
He's got a kickstart now and he's really... I think he's got into it, really.
But can you see the difference that it makes just by, A, finishing it and B, tying it all in together?
Yeah, it's very satisfying, actually.
Yeah, it looks fabulous. It really does, so well done.
Gerald's bedroom was cluttered and unloved. Now he's transformed it into a spacious room that's both fresh and bright.
Wow, a proper grown-up bedroom. No cot. Doesn't it make a difference?
There's plenty of space in there now.
Yeah, it's amazing, the difference. And I like the colour scheme.
I never would have chosen green for a bedroom.
No, people don't tend to, do they?
Like I say, it does work. Works nicely.
All the accessories are lovely as well.
I had a field day, I bought everything. It was great.
Brilliant. You've also been very clever with the children's bedrooms because they now look like children's bedrooms.
They do.
Lily's room felt characterless and neglected. Now with pretty pink walls and accessories, it's a charming child's bedroom with a makeover cost of around £160.
That is one of the big things when it comes to buyers. Buyers need to see what the spaces would look like. Are you glad you did it?
Oh, definitely. And kept notes of all the colours and everything, so when I do move...
You're going to do the same thing?
Repeat it, yeah.
It looks brilliant. Well done. Well done.
At Jill's, she's putting the finishing touches to her modernised bathroom.
Amanda was so right to suggest painting this. It's made such a difference. It just looks totally different. It's light and airy and big. It looks like we've just put a bathroom in, really.
The changes Jill's made are clear to see. Her hallway was a dated and drab entrance to her home. Now with smart new flooring and a lick of paint, she's brought it bang up to date.
I know it's been manic, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has really been manic, yeah.
But have you had fun doing it?
Yeah, it has been fun, picking all the staff and that, and actually seeing it come together. It's been really good.
What it feels like now is it's been given a breath of fresh air, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It just
has, yeah.
feels so different, so welcoming. The flooring is great.
I'm really, really pleased with it.
It's transformed it. It really has, just by a few little subtle changes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Absolutely,
I love
yeah.
it.
It looks like a hallway.
Jill's bathroom felt claustrophobic and dark. By simply painting the wood, it now feels much more modern.
Oh, what a difference. Come and look.
Oh, wow.
Because you've not seen it either, have
No.
you? What do you think? Because it's your bathroom, isn't it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's really lovely. It's brought it up to date. It's light and airy. It doesn't feel like the ceiling's on your head.
No. It's amazing the difference.
It's beautiful.
It really is lovely.
A simple coat of white paint just makes the world of difference, doesn't it?
Oh, it's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Well, when I say a simple coat, how many coats?
4 coats on there.
Quite a few there.
Attracted, yeah.
It looks wonderful. Well done, you two.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I'm in Milton Keynes preparing to show my buyer Simon around my 3 properties.
Being a builder, I'll pick up on pretty much everything. I'll be checking the gutters, the drainage, everything.
The sellers have been working for 7 days to transform their homes to be in with a chance of getting an offer. Jill's updated her chalet bungalow and brought it into the 21st century.
Think of how this was and how it is now when the buyer comes round, and the hall downstairs also. I think it's going to make such a difference to how they view the house overall.
Catherine and Gareth have added some colour to their previously beige and neutral home.
I'm really going to enjoy the next property that we find because I can do the whole process all over again, using some of the things that we've learned from this property in terms of colours and style, and then really going for it in the new property.
While Gerald has finally found some DIY closure at home and finished some long-forgotten jobs.
It's definitely made it more sellable, 100%. With all the improvements, it looks like a new house now.
And the first place I'm showing Simon is Jill's 4-bed chalet bungalow.
Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm a mind reader. You're thinking it's a bungalow.
I said that I wanted to retire in this house.
Well, there you go. It's got the character, but I also think that it's somewhere that you could put
My nan.
your own stamp. Or your nan. Would you just keep an open mind?
I'll try.
Especially as this place is now looking a lot more up-to-date inside. The hallway was tired, but is now bright and contemporary.
Initial impressions when you walk into the hallway?
So, yeah, OK, let's have a look at the next room. At the moment, it's a definite no.
Right. I know you're in the building industry, and I know that there's the potential of buying and selling and doing up, and so keep an open mind. Would you like to see the boudoir?
Thank you.
I'm not giving up that easily.
1 bedroom downstairs, shower room behind it, and then 3 bedrooms upstairs. For me, the exercise with this property is it's the whole judging a book by its cover. From the outside, it looks like quite a small bungalow, but when you get inside, it's actually much, much bigger than you would think. It's not going to be the forever home, though, I can tell.
No, but more for an investment opportunity, right price.
OK.
Who knows?
Sure.
This is not going well. Last chance, the bathroom that's gone from dark and claustrophobic to bright and open.
Thoughts now you're upstairs?
It's a nice, quirky little bungalow. If it was in Brighton or on the coast somewhere, it'd be a fantastic little bolt hole. Somewhere to go and stay.
How much do you think it's on the market for? Let's see if we're...
I'd take a stab in the dark at 215.
Oh, it's 285.
Wow.
OK, it's not getting any better, is it? Never mind.
Oh dear, I'm clearly barking up the wrong tree here. Let's move on. Next, it's Gareth and Catherine's modern 4-bed house, now with added colour.
So a very different prospect now. How are you on modern houses?
Yeah, cool, yeah.
You're all right with them? You do have a garage. It's not that one, though. Your garage is at the back of the house, which is accessed via the garden. Ready to have a go?
Let's have a look.
Excellent.
Simon has no use for a nursery. His kids are too old, but I bet he'll want a dining room.
So you've got a formal dining room here, and then you've obviously got the kitchen next door.
Yeah.
So would you think about knocking through?
Yeah,
or would
definitely. You'd open it all up.
This is light, it's bright, it's airy. It's quite girly.
Yeah.
Is your missus quite girly? Or...
No. Everything's white.
Right.
White walls, white ceilings, white woodwork.
But you can move into this. This is one of those sort of move-in
Definitely,
straight
yeah,
away.
yeah.
I know the bungalow wasn't for you. Is this getting better?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we might be in with a chance here. Let's hope the upstairs impresses.
So I think you've got really good-sized bedrooms in this house. This is the master suite. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I really like it. I love the balcony.
Price-wise, would you like to guess the price? Because the last time we didn't do very well, did we?
I'm guessing this has got to be around the 300,000 mark.
350.
350, really?
Yeah. But it's immaculate. You move straight into
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. For 350, I'd kind of be looking at perhaps a garage that I could use. Certainly a driveway.
Right, OK.
You know.
Sure. But
yeah,
we're getting better. We're on the right track now.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's good to hear. Last to see is Gerald's smartened up 5-bedroom detached house.
So, Simon, this is the house that I like to call the house that you need vision with and the house that you could do an awful lot with. It's detached. You've got one garage, but you do have parking in front as well. Initial impressions from the outside?
It looks quite big.
I mean, this really is something that I feel you could really get your teeth stuck into, should you so wish.
OK.
Yeah? Let's get on in.
We're starting in what was work in progress and is now the finally finished sitting room.
Got your lounge here. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. Big enough?
This room's big enough. I'd open that up, go the full length, take that wall out, make that even bigger.
Yeah.
You've got no dining room, so lounge diner. But yeah, this could have a fair bit of potential.
I'm pleased Simon's seen the possibilities here. Next, it's the shabby to chic master bedroom.
You've got master bedroom.
OK.
You've got 5 bedrooms in this house.
Is the price right?
Well, how much do you think?
Top line I would pay for this, 210, 215.
OK. Add an extra 100 grand onto that. It's 310.
It does need a lot of work done on it.
It does. It does, yeah, granted. But at that price, is it a no-go? Is it a...
At that price, it's a definite no-go.
Okay.
There's too much money that needs to go into it to make it worthwhile.
So we've seen all 3 properties, but I think it's probably fair to say that Simon only really liked one.
So, Simon, it's been an interesting day, hasn't it?
It's been good fun.
3 totally different properties. Which one was your least favourite?
Least favourite was definitely the bungalow. The plot wasn't big enough to do anything with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that just leaves us with the modern house and the detached house that I call the project. The big thing with that was the price, wasn't it? It was 100 grand more than you thought it was worth.
I think definitely 100 grand over.
Yeah, too much.
Definitely.
What about the modern house?
The house was absolutely lovely. The only issue I would have with that is the parking. We'd probably have nowhere to park the cars.
Yeah.
So that would have been an issue, but the house is really nice.
OK. I think I know which one was your favourite, but just tell me which was the...
Yeah, the modern house was the nicest one, definitely. Loved the rooms, the ceiling heights were great. Yeah, it was a cool house.
Next step?
I wouldn't mind going back and having a second look.
OK.
Yeah,
Take the missus?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Excellent. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yay! Not that I'm surprised. Yeah, it really makes the effort worthwhile knowing that we were chosen as the best house.
And while Gerald and Pat are happy...
I think coming in second place has really sort of made it really worthwhile, hasn't it?
Definitely closer to that dream of selling now. And a big thank you to Pat for making it all possible as well.
Oh, you're welcome, bro.
Jill is gutted.
It's a bit of a blow to know you come third. I think it's well worth doing the work because I think it's improved the property no end, really. And I think somebody just come in and they'll like it straight away.
A couple of weeks later, and the bad news is that Simon decided not to go back for a second viewing. The good news is that Simon's loss is another buyer's gain, as they've accepted an offer of 340 grand, 10 grand less than the asking price.
We've sold the property to 2 lovely owners and 2 first-time buyers, and we can move on to the next chapter in our lives, so we're really excited.
Also celebrating is Gerald. He's received an offer matching his asking price of £310,000.
I'm delighted now, because we can now get on with life, be mortgage-free, and off we go.
And Jill has had viewings but still awaits an offer.